We should run.
No. We should have a romantic montage.
Disney TeenNick, they loved to have the craziest love stories, teenage issues coming to a head and meeting at a relationship. They made you feel like you were in the shoes of the main character. But the way they made some of these love stories come together are pretty insane. Like, I can't tell if it's realistic, if it's supposed to be romantic. I don't know what all these middle-aged writers were thinking when they were writing for us. As I've combed through a lot of these shows, I couldn't help but group together all the love episodes just because of how twisted they come together. So I wanted to kind of find the weirdest ones and put them all together for you guys. So let's get into the weirdest love stories that we had in the 2000s. What's up, everybody? It's Johnny 2000, focusing on 2000s movies, media, TV, and so much more. As you know, I've had quite some fun diving into Zoey 101, Drake and Josh, Hannah Montana, and so many series throughout the years. I would say I'm an expert, but you wouldn't catch me putting that on my LinkedIn, no sir. Now let's jump into some of these twisted love episodes. First we have iCarly. It's from season 3 called iOMG, and as you may recall, this is the beginning of the Sam and Freddy storyline that inevitably ends up in a relationship, and it is crazy how they get together. So yeah, iOMG starts out with all the kids in the classroom getting ready for their science class. One of their classmates, Brad, heard about all the wrong behavior going on about the episode before this when they hired the hot guy. He's interested in being their assistant and there's no argument over it, they just kind of accept him, which is very sweet. Sam takes an interest in what Freddy and Brad are doing on their science experiment. They're essentially taking a bunch of face pictures and trying to create something that tells the mood of the person and what they're feeling, which actually is a really cool concept. At first, they don't understand why Sam would want to be interested in a science experiment, so they think she's up to something, but yeah, maybe she is. Later, they're doing iCarly, and of course another nonsense episode where they're just barely talking to the camera. Like, they do a whip pan to Gibby, but like, this could not be substance. Like, I don't know what they're trying to do.
Look at us.
Now back at Gibby.
Now back at us.
Now back at Gibby.
His hands are full of tuna fish salad.
Sam is just acting weirder and weirder, wanting to be involved in things that Freddy and Brad are doing. So everybody's like, what's going on?
Okay, what's up with you?
What do you mean?
You have been nice and helpful and considerate all day.
Meanwhile, Spencer has a really funny B-plot where we actually address how many times he sets fire to things.
The fire department sent us a letter saying we've reached our maximum number of calls for the year.
So Spencer tries to teach Carly how to use a fire extinguisher, but it keeps getting set on fire. Honestly, this doesn't feel like Spencer's issue. I don't know if a doctor needs to see him or how this is coming out, but I'm starting to feel bad for him at a certain point, because this is not fair. Spencer agrees to be the test dummy on Carly and Gibby's experiment, which I don't know, this looks like a multi-million-dollar experiment, the way they get this giant box into the classroom. It reminds me of that box that Drake was kept in Josh's Done, if you guys remember that episode, where he had like the acid shower and it kind of ruined his life. Yeah, that was kind of crazy. This entire episode is essentially testing Spencer on stimuli, I guess. I don't even know how to explain it. It just feels like the writer's way of making this character do ridiculous things. They test him with music and loud sounds, and Spencer's just such a funny reaction to this. Sam acts even weirder as she's given the kids guacamole, and Freddy is just insistent that she is up to no good. And I've never seen so much of Ridgeway Middle School until this episode. I can't believe it. Freddy ends up using the facial recognition thing on Sam, and it says in love. Oh my god. But instead of telling anybody, he runs away. Of course, Freddy. He tells Carly, who is not believing this at all, while Spencer is being tortured by a bunch of different scents. So Carly tries to be a good friend and actually talk about this with Sam, and she's just kind of in denial about it. She's like, no, I don't have feelings toward Brad. And low-key, she's not lying, which is kind of exciting. Freddy and Carly talk about what they're supposed to do about this scenario, and she's just like, Sam is just going through it and is awkward around guys, so that's why it's not being figured out. So Freddy's big idea is putting them in a room alone together where Sam can actually talk to him and maybe get her feelings out. So Carly and Freddy come up with an excuse to get everybody out of the classroom. They make some stupid excuse of like a two-headed frog, and okay. Brad wants to go too, but Carly's using this whole thing as a setup. Meanwhile, they're still testing Spencer, this poor guy, and he's just getting worse and worse, like actually having things sprayed onto him like food, and I'm just really disgusted. So Sam really has nothing to say to Brad. It's not really working out, and Carly's like, you need to talk to him, and like, don't let somebody get away again, which it makes sense. I feel like Sam is dealing with a lot of complicated emotions because she hasn't had good family role models when it came to love, or like hasn't been exposed to that kind of thing ever. So it makes sense that she's like awkward around it. She sits outside alone, only to be bothered by, of course, Freddy. Yep. So this approach just seems normal at first until Sam and Freddy start getting closer, and honestly, watching this with the sound off, it seems pretty obvious, honestly. She ends up grabbing him and kissing him, which is kind of a reference to the fact that they've kissed before in I Kiss, but this is actually solidifying that they're making this a storyline. This is not just a reaction episode. Carly ends up seeing the whole thing, and we don't get to see anything else about the rest of the night. Like, I don't get to see how Spencer survived, I don't get to see any of the experiments, I really don't even see if Brad even comes back. So it's kind of a frustrating thing, especially considering the next episode is a 3-part special all about iCarly crossing over with Victorious. So they really stop it at such an inconvenient spot, and considering the beginning of season 5 is actually taking where this left off, it makes me feel like iParty with Victorious doesn't even count. So yeah, I just thought it was weird, let alone dysfunctional, how these guys to get together, but that's neither here nor there. Next, we have Alex Charms a Boy, and this one is insane. If you guys recall, this is the episode introducing Mason the werewolf, and he has a crazy way of expressing his love. Alex Charms a Boy. This is the introduction of her werewolf boyfriend, Mason. But obviously they don't start out as boyfriend and girlfriend. Just listen to me, okay? Start off with them in art class. There's this British guy. I guess he just has an accent and that's his personality.
Sorry, I think you dropped this.
No, that's not mine.
Yeah, I know. I needed an excuse to come and talk to you.
He hits on Alex during the class, and they definitely have a little bit of chemistry. This is kind of crazy. He kind of reminds me of Chad Dillon Cooper a little bit, the way he's like super slick and very sweet, but at the same time, he's not really full of himself, so I don't think that's a fair comparison. Mr. Laritate is for some reason teaching the art class, which is crazy because it's like, what else hasn't he taught? Harper drew a bunch of kitties, which is actually really cute. I like her image in this. This is kind of sad. Justin is still looking for Juliet, his vampire girlfriend that he had lost because of the fact she was possessed by the mummy he was searching for in his monster hunting endeavors. Can you imagine an entire internship where you accidentally possessed your girlfriend to be enslaved to somebody else? Yeah, that would be crazy, right? Yeah, so Justin's monster hunting experience is insane. I can't believe we took a break from it last episode. I almost like forgot it was even happening. This is kind of a sad plot, like seeing him like try so hard to find her. There's a lot of emotional weight behind it that I was not expecting to get out of Wizards, but it's kind of a cool plot line to keep going. So Mason and Alex really hit it off. They have like a little date on the New York rooftop and throw a water balloon down at pedestrians, which I don't think is legal. And yeah, Mason is just trying to woo Alex over, which is crazy because they kind of have chemistry. It seems like they're already an item anyway, like you don't really have to win her over. A nice little montage of them getting to know each other, and it's very sweet. So in Justin's endeavors to find Juliet, Jerry actually gives him these goggles that allow you to see behind you, which is super funny. Like, why would that be helpful? Because you can't see in front of you. And I don't know. It's nice that they're all trying to help. Max gets involved, and it becomes like a really big mission for them to complete. And it's actually a part of this serial plot line, so stay tuned because it's not me talking about this for no reason. Essentially, we just kind of accept that they're in a relationship at this point. Like, Alex buys a painting for him and calls the two in a couple, so it's pretty established that they're together at this point. So Alex ends up bringing this painting into class and essentially wants this to be a meme. Like, her and Mason both have like ridiculous paintings, so she puts hers up, and then it turns out his was actually a genuine attempt. So she pretty much embarrasses him and herself all in that moment, and I kind of feel bad. I feel like that's kind of like a bullying miscommunication. I don't even know. It just feels more cruel than usual. Turns out that Mason is actually really into art in kind of a cringy way, which actually turns Alex off to him, like, completely. Kind of insane that that's, like, where she draws the line with him, but okay. Justin trying to use these glasses to actually, like, help him in his monster hunting is just plain ridiculous. It's funny to watch happen, but it's like crazy they're even considering using them. The biggest conflict in this episode is Mason drawing a picture of Alex as a dog, and she's super, like, worried about it or embarrassed or something, but doesn't want to hurt his feelings. So she brings out this magic conch shell that is actually gonna help her.
Praise the magic conch!
Harper has a really good point. Like, Alex is trying to use magic before it becomes a problem, and she's just like, please just let him paint you as a dog. It's not going to be that big of a deal. But Alex is like, no, I'm going to use magic. Crazy to think about. Next thing you know, she becomes his muse, which is kind of late in the episode. It feels like more than halfway through is when she actually charms a boy, which is the weird name of the episode. A lot of moral issues go in throughout this episode, like Harper confronting Alex about the fact she's using magic to make their relationship okay, which is a really good point. I feel like this is something that a lot of supernatural shows don't necessarily touch on, but it's really interesting. Next thing you know, Mason is getting a little too obsessive, drawing Alex and having her be the main center point of everything he creates, and is pretty devoted to her at this point. Jerry is witnessing this, and it's kind of an embarrassing moment, I gotta be honest. Then it's just him being obsessed with drawing Alex. He draws her on the street of Waverly Place, and it just gets further and further, and of course Alex is still seeing this, like, not really as a problem, and Jerry actually picks up on it and can tell it's magic. Alex ends up getting the shell and undoing Mason's spell, which is great because obviously that was like a bad thing to start out doing anyway. So it's good to see like the magic coming back and resolving before it gets like necessarily worse. The two share a kiss in the rain, and it's very clear that they're going to be together for a little bit longer than one episode. But hey, prove me wrong, Disney, prove me wrong. That was the beginning of the full relationship of Alex and Mason, so yeah, that's not romantic. Next, we're gonna go back a little bit further with Ned's Declassified. This is insane because Ned and Moze have always been like a staple of what that show was. And the fact that they built up so heavily to them being together was insane. But this is the exact moment they actually came together in horribly awkward circumstances. So the final episode before our series finale, literally our 3-part episode where Ned and Moze fully decide to get into a relationship, we have the episode where they're about to get into a relationship. The first episode is called Guide to Tests, and again, seems like it should have been done in the first season, but okay.
So your essay exam will be on Thursday.
Thursday!
Ned has a major test in literally every class, requiring him to be a completely different person if he ever wants to graduate, which is definitely like very real. It reminds me of the SATs a little bit. So everybody's dealing with some sort of test.
A compatibility test?
Like Cookie, for example, thinks him and Evelyn might have a chance together. I mean, mainly because she's been chasing him and he's been like, oh, I guess I should figure this out.
We'll find out scientifically if I'm your type or, say, Seth.
Where he is trying to see if they would end up in a relationship together, kind of obnoxious if you ask me. He puts her in this ridiculous amount of activities, like dunking a basketball, pretty much driving her to have a crush on Seth. Okay, so yeah, they kind of end up together, which I do not see coming. Meanwhile, Moze's test is actually a relationship test.
My soul desires takes all my tests so my mom won't cry. And then drink this pink smoothie.
But yeah, so she's testing both Faven and Ned on this Cosmo test, which is pretty much asking about all their different personality quirks.
You're testing Feynman against Ned with the magazine?
Ned is like focused on getting these final exams figured out, so he's obviously gonna be focused on that the whole time. Very dismissive toward Moze, pretty much getting every question wrong, but it's actually getting her to question it. You could tell throughout this whole thing that she's like, dang, like maybe it's not supposed to go to my test, maybe it's even better. Ned becomes like a full-on nerd in the way the Getting Organized episode kind of was, but this time he is personally choosing to take on that lifestyle. There's a bunch of other nerds here that we've never met before, and they carry around a cult, which is kind of funny to think about. Then we have a bunch of tips based on testing, which is so funny. By the end of the episode, Ned ends up actually fully committing, getting all the tests correct, and then learns that he might have failed the most important test of them all, Moze's test.
I aced him. But I think I might have failed the most important one.
And he got a 0. Oh my god, these scores are not fair at all, actually. So yeah, it's just Moze having like a weird revelation about all this. Leading us perfectly into the next episode when you like somebody who's going out with somebody else. Crazy, but Ned realizes at the end of this one that he does like Moze.
What's the story with you guys anyway?
Okay.
But yeah, when he commits to liking her, obviously it's a big issue because she's still dating Feynman. And this is like a really sad episode. I don't know why, the idea of watching somebody go out with somebody else when you like them just feels gut-wrenching to me. I don't know how Ned functions, especially realizing that all of this is like out of his control. It must be really hard. Gordy obviously tries to intersect and help, but it really doesn't set him up at all.
We've been friends for so long, and going out could ruin that, and it completely bombed my boyfriend test. But yeah, I think I like him.
Moze is put to the test when she's told that Feynman might be moving. Oh my gosh. So now Moze needs to decide if she actually likes Feynman, like should he stay here or should he move? He wants to choose, he's either choosing soccer or her because she's the only reason he would stay. Meanwhile, Cookie is dealing with Lisa Zemo. She has a line of guys trying to get her attention, and Cookie is like about to give up until he decides to turn on all of them and try to get her affection. He locks them outside, and she becomes depressed, which is fair enough. Like, I mean, I don't get what Cookie is doing to this poor girl. Like, he wants to be with her one day he doesn't. He sets all the guys free and allows her to be herself at the end of the day and accepts that it's not going to be in a relationship with her. Except for when we get to the final episode, we'll bring that back. But, you know, for now, this is a big deal. So Ned has to get his stuff together and try to tell Moze if he likes her, but every opportunity dodges it. Like, he tries to go with flowers, but gets chased by bees. Like, it seems like impossible, and the universe is working against them. Kind of like that episode where he was going to give her flowers for the woodshop thing, but then it ended up not working out. Yeah, Moze is ignoring all signs now, because since that Cosmo test, she's completely got her eyes open and committed to not being with Ned. But when she gets the final decision to ask him to stay or go, Ned loses the race to getting to her, so Cookie and Gordy are the ones that it's up to. So he dresses up like a Cupid, which I can't believe the production helped him do this, and tries to get this note to Moze so she could ask him to leave, which she does. Perfect timing. So Ned and Moze are finally about to walk up to one another and accept their relationship and maybe be together. And literally the entire class starts clapping. Kind of reminds me of the Scrubs finale. They did something similar where they had all past characters come back and cheer for the main guy. That's kind of what's going on here, up until right before they're about to kiss. Susie
Crabgrass!
Yeah, Susie's a wolf again.
comes in. Oh my gosh. So the perfect end to the final episode that's normal of Ned's Declassified before the movie and or series finale. The test episode has the most tips in I've seen any episode so far, but then again, I've only been rewatching the 3rd season. The first one is step 1, change your routine, put down video games, pick up flashcards, carry flashcards to make any time a study time. Multiple choice, face the facts. Don't second guess. The first choice is always the best. Essay, focus on understanding, less on facts. Oh my god, this feels like I'm reading like a school assigned book. It's so annoying. Got tests? Take a week to be a geek. Okay, fair enough. You'll have less anxiety and get better grades. Oh, okay, fair enough. And then at the end of the most recent episode, we have be a vice boyfriend or a vice girlfriend. What?
If you like someone but they like someone else, don't be hopeless. Be a vice boyfriend or vice girlfriend.
School romances rarely last forever. Whoa. And then, so hang nice and be a potential date, not a real date. Oh my gosh. And don't come on too strong. See, that's the only one I think is relevant. Yeah, so weird. This is the last appearance of teacher Albert Warmenheimer, Nurse Hunsucker. It's really sad to see everybody's final episodes, but hey, Evelyn breaks up with Cookie and goes out with Seth, and that's just the most important thing to remember about all this. Yeah, that one just gives me anxiety. Next, we have Hannah Montana from season 2. Of course, Hannah Montana had a lot of moments where she was like either in love or not, but I had to make this the weirdest love story, not necessarily the most normal. So I thought the one where she goes on a date with Rico would be the best.
So Miley's at a celebrity auction where they're trying to raise money by selling a date with Hannah Montana. There's a really funny bit where Ray Romano is there, and I love Everybody That Loves Raymond, so this is a really funny bit for me. And nobody knows who he is, and then obviously Hannah gets immediately auctioned, and he's like, what the heck is going on? The cold open ends with Corbin Bleu bidding on Hannah. I don't know if you guys remember, but Corbin Bleu is from the first episode of Hannah Montana, and they even have a flashback remembering it, so that way the audience is caught up, which is fair. He was in one episode, how would we know that? But he gets in a bidding war with Rico, who also wants to go on a date with Hannah Montana.
20,000!
I mean, of course, Rico does not know that Miley is Hannah, but, you know, just remember that. Miley has a fantasy about dancing with Corbin Bleu in If We Were a Movie, and it's interrupted by another fantasy with Rico running with her in a grass field and a giant tornado following them. In the end, Corbin Bleu and Rico agree to go on the same date with Miley, who is really angry about this situation. Corbin Bleu's name is Johnny in this, but I'm not going to call him that. There's only one Johnny, and this one is 2000. I can't tell if that was a positive thing, though, now that I said it. In the B-plot, Roxy is worried about meeting an old friend from high school and appearing like she has not been successful. So she apparently told her that she lives in a Malibu house with a husband in hopes that Robbie was away this weekend. This is one of the most stereotypical sitcom plot lines, but since it's Roxy, I'm gonna forgive it. One of those characters gets ready for their family reunion and lies about having a better life. Yeah, that is very common. It turns out to be the woman from Abbott Elementary, which is really exciting given the context now. Robbie agrees to play along because he feels bad for Roxy, and the plot is kicked off. Meanwhile, Rico is bragging to Miley about how he has a date with Hannah Montana coming. When seeing Lily and Oliver sick, Miley realizes she has the perfect way to get out of the date. So she has Lily and Oliver try to spend too much time with Rico so he can become super sick. This is messed up, Miley. Can you imagine in the COVID era, Miley would go to prison if this were the case. Rico inevitably does end up getting sick and even sells food to the customers with his germs in it. Oh my god, this is gross. So then we cut to the date. Corbin Bleu is getting ready to see Hannah, and Hannah is expecting to go one-on-one. But she's surprised when Rico does inevitably show up as his sick self. The three sit on their sushi date together, which is, I didn't know you could have a minor bid to go on a date with a celebrity. It just feels weird to me. And he sits on her lap for a picture. Guys, this is so uncomfortable. It's always so funny because one of the only people in the theme song that doesn't know she's Miley. So this is really fun to watch. Roxy insists on treating Jackson and Robbie like they're family, and they actually get into full arguments. Meanwhile, Miley continues to try to get Rico to leave the date looking like a fool in front of Corbin Bleu, Johnny. Her mistreatment even goes so far that Rico is knocked from the bench into the crab tank. He's annoyed, but not as annoyed as Corbin Bleu. Corbin Bleu thinks she's a celebrity jerk and essentially writes her off, which is really fair in this scenario. Miley, you literally bullied this child. Meanwhile, Roxy actually admits to her former friend that this is not her life and she's happy the way she really is. And she doesn't need to have a snotty, rich lifestyle in order to be happy.
Way to go, Clarice. This is why we don't have any friends.
Kicking her old friend out of the house and therefore growing as a character, and thanking Robbie for participating, even though it was kind of an inappropriate ask. Oliver and Lily comfort Miley, who is now sick, which is fair. Miley, you kind of deserve that. And Miley runs into Johnny one last time. Corbin Bleu. It's clear that there's still a chance between the two, until she pukes on his feet. And it ends just the way it's supposed to. Although there is one last scene where Jackson pretends to play the piano like he did earlier in the episode with a huge candelabra, and it's the most unnecessary end ever.
So yeah, that was We're All on This Date Together. Next is Drake and Josh. It was hard to find the perfect love episode, but I felt like the weirdest one is where Drake and Josh are meddling on Megan's first kiss. So let's jump into Megan's first kiss.
Next we have Megan's first kiss. Josh and Drake are reminiscing about Megan with these messed up stories of different things she's done to them, which is so good.
And then her pranks got more sophisticated.
Like when I was in a hot tub and she put 2 baby sharks in the water. Like when she told the police I buried Josh in the backyard.
Josh breaks a jar of pickles and Drake slips on it. Apparently got these things called clackers for him and Josh.
And now, rapid clacking.
I want to try.
Here.
And it's just these clacking objects. But I guess it's better than just Drake swinging his wrist around for a B-plot. They overhear Megan on a sketchy phone call. She dodges it by gaslighting them and saying she's not on the phone.
We saw you.
No, you didn't.
Yeah, we did.
We were standing right here.
Coming, Mom!
Mom's not even home.
You're not home.
How does Walter recognize these clackers? He wants to use it himself, and he takes it. Megan comes in to measure Drake and Josh's necks, and when they ask what she's doing...
What are you guys doing on Saturday night?
Going to a concert at the Megadome? What? Because we bought tickets.
Not you.
She also gaslights them again. This is like a super gaslighty episode. And convinces Drake that they asked themselves.
And she measures our necks and asks of our social plans.
Wait. She said we asked ourselves about that.
Really, you're not a smart boy.
So Drake and Josh are convinced she's up to something. They follow her to school, and apparently they're in a different school set, but it looks pretty much the same. And the hall monitor bothers them because he knows they're from the upper school.
We don't have any.
Then get out of my hall!
Oh, he's getting all mad.
You two just made the biggest mistake of your lives.
They overhear Megan say that Drake and Josh are too stupid to figure out whatever she's doing, and Drake and Josh are hiding behind the kids, which does not work.
His nose grew back.
Awesome.
Get the class. Learn.
Josh even tells them to learn as they leave. Apparently Megan is going to be meeting up with somebody and getting quote-unquote the stuff, which sounds like drugs, but also reminds me of the time that she needed the Peruvian puff pepper and had them tail her. Like, that was interesting. It seems like another one of that.
That's them.
You brought backup.
The hall monitor ends up showing back up and starts shooting rubber bands with backup at the boys, which is funny. So Drake and Josh pretty much blow off their concert, which is weird because they're normal teenage boys. Why do you want to ditch social activities to spy on your own family? It's crazy. At the theater, they dress in wigs, which they got from the temple instead of like a costume store, which is so funny. Helen somehow doesn't recognize them.
Come along, Pontiac.
Yes, let's go observe the mulberry bush.
Oh, pip pip da doodly doo.
That's when the famous line comes in, pip pip da doodly doo.
Pip, pip, the doodly doo.
And Helen is so inspired by it for some reason. They find Megan and see that she's on a date. Dang, they missed their concert for watching their sister on a date? Weird, guys. Apparently the stuff is Japanese candy and Megan got him a necklace and that's why she measured the boys' necks. The kid puts on lip balm while Megan goes to the bathroom, which means he's gonna kiss her. So the boys get really nervous and start staring at him.
What are you gawking at? Mind your papers.
Their Irish accents are ridiculous in this episode. They essentially are like worried about them kissing, so they try to interrupt as much as possible until security actually enters the theater with Crazy Steve and Megan realizes it's them and she is mad.
What are you boobs doing here?
Who are they?
So Drake and Josh just made up pip, pip, the doodly doo.
You have every right to be disappointed.
Corey breaks up with Megan right then and there because he's worried about their family, which from his perspective I would too. They completely just showed up in Irish accents.
My family's not freakish, just my brothers and my dad. A little bit.
Look.
Later we find out that Megan locked herself in her room as Drake and Josh and Walter kind of convene in the kitchen. They say they were trying to protect her, but Walter tells them they need to fix it. So they decide to talk Corey into taking her back. Corey's the name of the guy. So he comes over and Drake and Josh ask him to do so, but he wants something in return. He asks for a clock.
Okay, I'll get back with your sister.
Awesome.
But I want that clock.
And then Drake's guitar and starts bargaining with them. They did this on Hannah Montana, where she goes on a fake date and the date also tries asking for stuff in her house, which is kind of nuts.
Give me your pants.
Our pants?
Both of you, pants.
They're not even gonna fit you.
I'll grow into them.
So later Josh is at the premiere and sees Corey with another girl using the same moves. The Japanese candy, everything, and he kisses her. Oh my gosh. It reminds me of that episode of Hannah Montana where Miley catches Lucas with somebody else. But that episode kind of went on longer with her not believing him Miley, which is a noticeable difference. Like, Drake and Josh really tackled this whole cheating thing in a very different way without it being like the center of the plot.
If we tell Megan, she's gonna think we're making it up. She's gonna think we're lying just to keep her from dating Corey.
So what are we gonna do?
Drake and Josh interrupt again, and Corey and Megan are obviously upset.
I am going to do such illegal things to them.
By this time, they bring in the girlfriend to prove that he's cheating, and it works perfectly.
Maybe you believe girlfriend number 2.
Hey, boyfriend.
Monica.
Who's Monica?
I don't know. I've never even seen her before.
It's kind of like the modern day version when girls DM other girls to be like, hey, your boyfriend's cheating on you. Like, that's kind of what's happening here. Drake and Josh say they're gonna teach Corey a lesson and take off their shoes. What the heck does that mean? And then it cuts to them being, like, completely injured. Apparently they were beaten up by Corey, both of them.
You could have told us he knew Kung Fu. Yeah, he knew Kung Fu real good.
Finally, Megan appreciates them and kisses them on the cheek, and they have a really sweet moment. This is, like, really nice for being some of the last episodes of the entire series, to, like, have this kind of closure between this relationship, and just such a good episode.
Dude, you're crying. He kicked me in the throat.
And yeah, that was Megan's first kiss. Next we have Sweet Life Miniature Golf, and this is the one where being in love turns Zack into a misogynist. I needed to get into this one for this video.
The next episode is called Miniature Golf, and this one is kind of wacky if you ask me. So Zack is asking out a girl while Carrie is trying to do a workout.
4, 5. Yeah, that's just my brother counting off how many one-arm push-ups I'm doing.
I don't know why all the gags involving Carrie Martin are something about working out or getting fit for something or being old. Like, I feel like she's a little bit more complex than that. Zack tells Cody that he wants to go on a double date, and Cody's like, okay, fine, I'll bring Barbara. Barbara's been seen a couple times before, most notably when they were working on the newspaper, and their relationship is interesting. I feel like Cody as a boyfriend is a lot more nerdy than Cody as a normal person. Like, even with Bailey in Sweet Life on Deck, Cody just has this way about him where he's romantic by talking about flashcards or things he's learning, and it's like, oh my gosh, I don't know how girls are into this. But yeah, he agrees, and they all are gonna go miniature golfing. In the B plot, apparently London is a part of a book club. She enters and one of her first lines are,
"Bit me, candy girl,"
which is super disrespectful. Imagine one of your friends came over to your house, snapped their fingers, and said, "Mint me." I don't like that. They're reading the book Pride and Prejudice, which is really funny because London is like, oh, the main character is Pride. But yeah, Maddie has issues with that because I guess she doesn't want London to be smart since she has that.
There's no way I'm gonna be left out of a club, even if it means reading some boring old book.
Want to be part of Lend Maddie $1 Million Club?
Sorry, I don't get my allowance till next week.
So they get to the miniature golf course, and the lady taking tickets is really wacky. They really like making their adult characters, like, dopey to the point of incompetence. But you gotta admit, she's really funny.
This pencil is broken.
They're all broken. Lousy kids.
So as they do mini golf, Zack ends up being such a poor sport, being disrespectful at almost any turn. Even Cody recognizes this, and I don't remember Zack being such a poor sport in a way that I've never seen him be this rude. Meanwhile, Maddie is still annoyed at what's going on with the book club, which is like, come on girl, do something else with your life. You don't have to be an advocate for everything going on. Because she gets offended when the book club doesn't talk about books. It's like London and her rich friends, and they're just gossiping. And then we get Alexa Nicholas as a guest star. I'm not sure if you guys know who that is, but she was famously on Zoey 101. Didn't have a good experience with it, but you guys could check out her channel if you want to get into that. Maddie challenges the group to actually read the book, and they accept it.
In fact, we're gonna start right now. Who's hungry?
Me.
Then we get more of Zack being a jerk, and I didn't think he could take it even further, but the girl ends up being offended too. Let me just say, if I knew Zack Martin in real life, I would not be playing Mario Party with that guy. So Zack vows to beat this girl at the game, with Carrie and Cody trying to give him a little bit of clarity on the fact he's being a jerk, but he's still determined to prove that this girl is not as good as him. You know who gets wrapped into it? Yeah. Marion Mosby. Zack's playing golf in the hallway, and instead of getting super angry, Mr. Mosby is like really into golf, and he's like, I could teach you a few things.
You golf?
Gee, I was kind of expecting more of
I want you out of my hotel this instant, you diminutive demon!
They're like practicing golfing in the lobby, which why would Mr. Mosby agree to? The golf ball goes through all these like creative spots, but it reminds me of like the Pee Wee Herman movie. So next thing you know, they're back at miniature golf and he's trying to redeem himself. He's pretty much a sore winner now, and even worse.
Oh yeah, hole in one! Who's laughing now, Mr. Hippo?
The 3 other participants have to walk out, and I'm like, why did they even agree to go with him again? Meanwhile, the book club reads the book, and everybody's like triggered, being like, oh my gosh, how could she fall for such a poor man? Maddie's like, it's love, it's supposed to be love. And their perspective on the book is so wildly different than them that it's like kind of like a plot twist. Alexa Nicholas has really funny lines in this scene too.
That'd be like my brother dating Chelsea.
Oh, just because my family's yacht is smaller than yours, you think you're better than me?
Well, yeah.
All the rich kids pretty much fight each other for who's the most rich, and it's the most London Tipton fight I've ever seen. With everybody throwing food in each other's face, I feel like this is like the 50th time this season that food has been in somebody's face. In the end, Carrie talks to Zack once again about being a sore loser, and he decides to apologize. And she kind of accepts it, which is really wacky. I don't know why this girl accepts the apology so easily. I would never talk to him again, especially how little they know each other. And Cody, of course, doesn't care that much because he's just gonna reset next episode.
I wanted to apologize. Apology not accepted. Yeah, I couldn't care less.
Overall, this one was a lot of fun with Zack and Mosby. I wish we narrowed in on that. Maybe Mosby was a part of teaching Zack how he can't be a sore winner. I guess we had a couple montages that just took that away from us. Oh well. Overall, I had fun with this episode. I mean, it's a very basic stereotype to just have somebody be a sore winner, especially getting to know Zack and Cody so well at this point. Seeing him not be able to grow that quickly is almost kind of sad. But I had fun. I had fun.
Dang, I'm a good coach. You were fine too.
Then, of course, we have another throwback from Zoey 101. Lola likes Chase from season 2. Oh my gosh. This is a throwback, especially with Victoria Justice being the part. I just feel like there's no other show that does like a friend liking another friend so spot on, and like the awkwardness of it all, like that's all incorporated in this episode. Okay, we have a special episode, Lola Likes Chase. This is when Zoey 101 takes a really interesting turn because people are actually pressuring Chase to make a decision about Zoey. Chase's passive nature is officially not working for him anymore. It starts out with all the kids studying, and Lola has a really tough time. But Chase is actually pretty good at it.
Why do you hate biology? Because I don't get it, and I'm flunking, and Mr. Rudolph wants me to get a tutor.
So get a tutor.
No, I already spend 7 hours a day with teachers. It's bad enough.
Well, Chase got an A in biology last semester.
Lola actually asks Chase to tutor her, to which he agrees, probably because of Zoey. Chase is able to teach Lola as much as she's able to learn, and the two seem to have a connection. He even gives her flowers, which is kind of funny.
Yeah, I don't think I want to.
Why not?
There's a spider on it.
Yeah.
Lola then asks Zoey if it's okay if she goes out with him, and Zoey is confused. She's like, I guess so?
Me and Chase, we're friends. Why?
Just friends?
Yeah. Why do you ask?
Just wondering. Because I might ask Chase out.
And realizes that she definitely doesn't want her to do that, but she doesn't have a good enough reason to tell her not to. And Dustin gets to his breaking point with this Annie wig. He looks like a blonde Annie, and just follows along in Logan's footsteps, which is definitely red flag alert. He teaches him how to be a misogynist, basically, and flirt with girls, catcall them, like, it's definitely Logan territory. Meanwhile, Lola tells Chase interested in going out with him, and she already asked Zoey if it's okay. And Chase is kind of heartbroken at the fact that Zoey said it was okay, and ends up agreeing to it.
Zoey's okay with you asking me out?
Yeah, she said you guys were just friends, so it's all cool.
Yeah. All cool.
But I guess when you're young, you don't really know who you like and you don't really commit to it. Sometimes you'll just say yes to anything, and Chase ends up saying yes. He tells Michael what's going on, and Michael pretty much just says to be grateful. Zoey can't tell why she's in such a bad mood, but it's very clear it's because of Lola.
Why would Lola want to ask Chase out?
Okay, I thought you said you didn't want to talk about it.
I don't.
She's super surprised to hear that Chase said yes to going on a date with her, and even approaches Chase later. which makes it even more confusing. I think Chase realizes in this moment that he still does have a crush on her and maybe he's doing the wrong thing, because when he starts hanging out with Lola and actually getting closer to her, he seems to feel uncomfortable with it, and it looks unnatural, honestly.
Be locked in a cage with a wild tiger, or lick peanut butter off a hobo's foot?
What?
The two have a talk, and it seems like Chase kind of confides within Lola that he does like Zoey, and she's surprisingly cool with it. The two end up becoming really good friends, and I feel like the situation kind of brought them a little bit closer because they learned how to communicate. I'm not sure if you guys remember that in middle school when you weren't sure if you liked hanging out with somebody because you thought they were cool or because you genuinely had a crush on them, but that is 100% what's being covered in this episode. Meanwhile, Logan is still trying to toxic masculinize Dustin. He starts to realize that maybe he's not listening to the right person when it comes to dating.
Look, do I get a lot of girls?
You talk about getting a lot of girls.
Just let me handle this.
He learns his lesson when Logan asks out a girl and his sister in a really jerky way, and Logan is thrown into a fountain, getting his karma. But Dustin still wants to go out with her, so only he gets to go out with the little girl. We end the episode on a very peaceful note to show us that, yeah, we resetted the episode and we don't want to keep anything we just told you about. But it's cute because it's like a double date between Zoey and Chase and Dustin and his girlfriend. But we never see her again, so I guess it's not a real girlfriend. And next, of course, we have to have the sibling show. If we're talking about weird love stories, we gotta talk about brothers and sisters, don't we, guys? Now, this episode of Life with Derek is called Dating Game, and it is worth talking about.
Being boyfriend-less is no biggie. Just because Derek and Emily and everyone in the world is paired up doesn't mean I'm panicking.
With all that said, it's finally time we come to the second season finale, Season 2, Episode 13, Dating Game. Wow, it's so crazy how quickly we went through this season. I feel like the first season was such a long drag, and this one was more fun to talk about. There's a lot of improvements, not only with the characters, but like the dynamics of the characters. Derek and Casey are, Derek and Edwin, Marty and Casey. There's just everybody is getting along in a new way. It feels like the show found its groove here, and I'm liking it. I feel like they didn't have to lean on more sexist tropes or like have everything be shocking. It feels like they kind of grounded the show to be more of a family comedy. Which, by the way, I'm so sorry. I remember my first video, I said that the Brady Bunch was an 80s show, but it was a 70s show. Yeah, see, I put that in here so nobody can get mad at me. People were really upset that I said that. I'm sorry, guys. I definitely missed that original sitcom. But yeah, the final episode is Dating Game. And this is so funny because everybody is in a relationship except for Casey. It's time for Casey to reflect on herself. No, I'm just kidding. But really, the episode starts us already knowing that Derek is with Kendra, and we find out immediately that Emma has a boyfriend. And it's not even the emo guy, the goth guy. I thought they would be together just because he said that, but it turns out that was just nothing, and we've moved on already. She's dating Schlepper from the President episode. Why? Why are you dating it? Oh, whatever. Kendra kind of sticks her nose in everything now that her and Derek are dating. She's found her way to family dinner, which I find a really interesting detail. Like, I feel like not a lot of shows show the grounded day-to-day life of like living in the suburbs and going to school as a teenager, but here, like, we actually see them eating dinner together. I like that. And she's like, oh, Casey, we're gonna have to find you a boyfriend, and everybody is so, obviously, they're like, who in the world would date Casey? Kendra ends up taking surveys from everybody in the family to try to get a gauge for what Casey might want in a man, and I love this. I can't believe that this girl is going to be playing matchmaker and Casey is going to be the client. Like, what in the world? George comes in to interrupt Derek and Kendra because he's like, she should be going home now, and so far, only thing they've talked about in his bedroom is Casey. What? Okay, whatever. Now Derek is bringing his girlfriend in on this whole conversation. If I were Kendra, I'd be like, you guys talk a lot. I know you're the same age, but it's weird, right? The only real weird coincidence about that is the fact that they say they hate each other, yet they spend 90% of their day together. Not only just like a normal 90%, but like every second they have a choice to be around somebody, it just always happens to be one another. Whether it's because of a plot or how I imagine in between episodes might be, it's just always them. So Kendra Kendra's like, let's have like a little party where Casey can meet all the candidates. And they kick all the siblings out, which, wow, guys, not nice. Everything is all for Casey at this point, isn't it? And they actually have this event at the house. Of course, George is opposed to it, but Derek makes sure the parents stay upstairs, which of course you would do if you were having a party. And of course, they come down just to be a part of it for a moment. The parents even end up fitting into the party. Like, the people like them there, which it's so funny because that was such a thing growing up where your parents would always be like the cool people. Like, you always want to talk to your friend's parents. I remember that just being a thing. The big climactic point is Casey giving up on this whole thing, being like, I'm gonna be single forever. And we're like, I don't think that's true, Casey. But yeah, all the guys Kendra picked are weird.
Tell me about your past relationships.
I have no past relationships. I'm saving myself for the perfect woman, and me thinks I found her.
I don't know how in the world Kendra met these people. Like, this guy's wearing like a black turtleneck, like some theater kid. I don't know why she thought these people would be good for Casey, but oh well. Casey gives up and Derek is like, this party is just not even fun because of his parents like getting involved. And this is where the weird thing comes in. Turns out this party actually works. Casey's like hidden in her room and a guy walks in, his name's Max, thinking this is the bathroom. What a beautiful way to meet your future boyfriend. Yeah, if you've seen this show, Casey does end up with this guy. Spoiler alert, you're gonna have to watch the next video to watch me spoil it again though. Robbie Amell is the actor and he's actually known for True Jackson VP. I love True Jackson VP, so that's just why I had to point that out. He plays True's love interest as the main character there too, so I guess this guy's just eye candy to those casting directors. Oh well, I do remember this relationship seeming a lot more genuine than her and Sam anyway, so it's not like I'm worried about it. But it's also interesting that Derek goes into the next season with this girlfriend. I can't believe that, like, by the end of the whole season, Casey and Derek both get a win. So yeah, that was life with Derek, and you know how it is. Next, we have True Jackson VP, and this love story is actually involving True Jackson's boss. And no, not her with her boss, you freaks. No, it's her boss. And she helps meddle in it. Isn't that crazy? There's a couple things that go on, a lot of moving parts and important pieces. One of the most important is the fact that Max Madigan is going to propose to True's librarian. If you remember the first couple episodes, True set up Mr. Madigan with her librarian, and they really hit it off. She was super weird, and that's just enough for him. So Mr. Madigan's nervous about proposing, like worried that he's gonna get a no, so True actually tries to encourage him to not worry about it and like just give out his heart. And it's so funny because this is parallel to the fact that they're trying to work out a new marketing system, like Mad Style is gonna have more magazine issues. They just want to do something publicity-wise to get their name out there, which is kind of crazy because it's a 50-year-old company. I feel like if it was like more newly established and they had young executives, that would be really cool. But the fact that it's like this old company, it's like, what are they trying to prove at this point? Max introduces a button that actually allows people to get dropped down into the cellar, which is insane that he even set this up. Of course, Kopelman has to be at the head of it. Ryan keeps trying to get involved in the whole marketing scheme and like how they could put Mad Style on the list, and he's like, let me just drive something, let me drive and that'll work. And Mr. Madigan's like, why are you talking to me? They end up deciding for the marketing thing that Max will be on the roof and be wearing the new line of clothing, which is actually really scary because True forgot that he's scared of heights, and it comes up a lot. It came up in the last Simon Christini episode, and it's coming up again. I like that they're consistent with it.
Mr. Madigan is terribly afraid of heights. He's probably freaking out.
Why don't you just get a dummy to take his place?
Really? You don't mind standing on the roof?
Meanwhile, they get a giant Max Madigan mannequin, which is kind of horrible to say. Max Madigan mannequin. Ugh, whatever. It's in the title, so you'll know. So True is the one responsible for picking up the ring for Mr. Madigan, and they don't know how to get there, so they insist that Ryan drives, which is already a red flag of a plan, honestly. So they put the dummy of Mr. Madigan in the back seat to get away with it. Unfortunately, they hit a bunch of garbage cans, and the police pulls them over immediately. At first, they're like getting away with it by Ryan actually talking for Mr. Madigan, and the cop somehow recognizes him from his fashion lines. I don't think people are that famous.
Did I ever tell you you got small hands for a grown man?
Oh, stop. You're making me blush.
But then they get caught red-handed a little too late. I don't even know how the cop didn't pick up on this earlier. And he's a romantic, so he cares about getting this ring. He lets them off the hook, takes them to the ring store, and they're back. Max finally asks her to marry him, and she says no.
Will you marry me?
No.
Oh, excuse me for a moment.
She's the one now!
Yeah, I did not expect her to say no. I thought this would be like the end of the episode and she would say yes, but that doesn't happen. And of course, Mr. Madigan's kind of mad at True because she was the one in the middle of the whole thing, and I am surprised. Apparently, we learned that the only reason this woman said no was because it wasn't like super romantic, like just in the office. That's not cool. So True's like, well, what do you want? Like him in a chair on the roof? Which is also what she did earlier in the episode, is volunteer him for something that involves his fear heights. And so yeah, next thing you know, she's like, that would be awesome. So they have to get him somehow on the roof in a way that's safe for everybody. And you know what? Who better to do it than Max Mannequin? The mannequin version of Max, if that wasn't pretty clear. Of course, who do you expect to screw this whole thing up? Yeah, Ryan accidentally drops the mannequin off the side of the building right as they're getting set up, so they can't even do what they're trying to do. And the mannequin actually scares Amanda, which I think is a really funny joke. Next thing you know, Max sits on the chair and doesn't even realize it, but the balloons float him up into the sky. Oh my gosh. Just because he's scared of heights is kind of the big deal of it all, but it's also horrifying. I'm kind of scared of heights, but seeing him in the sky like that is terrifying. Like, I'm worried Max is gonna die. But yeah, this woman comes out and accepts his proposal, so yeah, gonna get married, yay, very sweet. So I guess it all works out in the end. Next, we have the final one, which is actually one of the best love stories I think I've seen in teen television. It's called Falling for the Falls from Sonny with a Chance. Oh, and I'm so excited to see the love story of Chad Dillon Cooper and Sonny Monroe. Falling for the Falls is the first one, and this I consider one of the most important two-part episodes in TV history. Because why? It's about Sonny and Chad. Of course, they like kind of have this bickering going on with a lot of love tension throughout the series. It's very obvious that they're going to be paired off together by the way they bicker. It's very cute. Part one of this special is Sonny finding out that her mom actually likes Mackenzie Falls. Okay. Yeah, Sonny and her friends take a shot every time Mackenzie Falls says falls. Oh wait, well, not a shot. You guys know what I mean. They pour water. It's ridiculous. We get Chad back to his normal hair, still confused about this concept. And the B-plot is just about every other character in So Random not being able to get done their science project because Sonny isn't done hers and they usually copy her. And yeah, this is actually coming from a pretty shallow place, their plot, which is kind of annoying. Sonny, meanwhile, is getting addicted to Mackenzie Falls, watching the show as much as possible, like with her mother.
Sweetie, you don't have homework, do you? I do. 3 seasons worth.
And it's so funny that that is like the biggest shame of her life. Like, she doesn't want anybody to know. And so that's why she's not actually studying. And unfortunately, So Random doesn't realize that they're not gonna get their projects done either if they keep following her. Later, they start all conspiring against her, being like, dang, she's definitely got something going on behind our back. And they know it. It's Mackenzie Falls, the fact that she's watching it. So they confront her pretty quickly, and she just consistently lies and lies to try to get out of it. And this is crazy because it's all about the show up until this point, right? Like, Sonny just likes the show.
We will talk.
But I'm tired of writing alone.
Get on that horse, Mackenzie!
It's too much for her friends that she's watching the show. So she confronts Chad about like what happens in the show so she doesn't have to watch it in front of them, only to realize Chad actually asks her out, says Sonny's name, and it is just thrown out there. And I kind of like how random it comes across because you don't expect it at all until the studio audience awes and you're like, oh my gosh, maybe this is a big deal. Sonny gets super nervous and it seems like she's about to reject him. But hey, it goes in the opposite direction. She actually says yes. And this point forward, everything will change. Sonny with a Chance will never be the same after Demi releases her feelings for Chad Dillon Cooper. So now they're both planning to go on this special date, something that they both secretly have been wanting, and they're a lot sweeter to each other right off the bat. And from now on, the bickering becomes a lot more flirtatious. They keep ending up in fights, so it's them like teetering in and out of an actual relationship. Kind of crazy. And So Random bugs her about like, oh my god, what if you were with Chad? That would be kind of crazy. And she's like, oh, maybe I should tell them, and actually debates it for a second, but doesn't do it. Okay, fine. So Sonny decides she needs to call off the date because she's worried about what everybody's going to think of them, and that's going to be annoying for what's about to come. Meanwhile, Sonny and Chad get in another fight about this because Chad is like, are you more upset that we're not going on a date or that you don't get to watch Mackenzie Falls? And that turns into a whole argument with Sonny ending up getting kicked off the set set. And I don't know why, it's just so funny seeing Sonny and Chad fight like really hard one last time, because it's about to get more romantic. So Nico and Grady find out that Sonny was at Mackenzie Falls. Once again, they confront her at her house. The only difference is this time Chad actually tries to make it up to Sonny by giving her a picture of him with flowers and Mackenzie Falls. Oh my god, look at the picture of him with flowers. It's just like been taken moments before. That's so funny. And it says, "To my lady." So they actually agree they're gonna have a nice date, and it's not gonna matter as long as they could keep it a secret. That's when So Random comes in. Everybody confronts everybody, and it seems like they're screwed until
Sonny's mother is also my mother.
Demi and Chad use the tennis match as a way of hiding this entire ordeal. Like, Sonny and Chad are just collaborating on a tennis match, and that's why they've been so close together. The So Random team buys this all, and they agree to go on their date, with a quick, funny ending of them actually doing the tennis tournament. I was not seeing that coming.
Now be a gracious loser and shake Mr. Efron's hand.
Never!
That's when it brings us to the second part of the Falling for the Falls, and this one's more so about the actual date they go on. It's still a big deal that So Random doesn't know, and it has a lot to do with them hiding it.
They're watching.
Yeah, I know, act natural.
What say you, good woman? Were these apples freshly picked this fine morn?
Chad's hair is officially short. I think this is like the actual moment they kind of wanted to intend for it to be short. I don't know, but that's just me theorizing. There's a really funny bit where Grady keeps saying he knows how to read lip syncing, and it's horrible. And it's horrible in a funny way, obviously. So Random is still suspicious. Meanwhile, Sonny and Chad are getting ready for their date, and it's really cute. Like, we have a little montage of both of them not knowing what to wear, not knowing what to say.
This would be so much easier if I was a dude.
This would be so much easier if I was an average dude. Too Nika. Too Grady. Too tawny, but very comfortable.
And So Random is out for pizza night, so they're not even gonna be involved. At least that's what we think. Sonny and Chad finally get together and go out on their date, and you know what? It gets really embarrassing. Why?
Can't believe we're finally doing this.
Neither can I.
Imagine how we feel!
Because first off, So Random somehow found out and are in the limo, confronting Sonny right away. Both of them are able to push this off again, which I don't know how in the world they're able to keep excusing the fact that they're going out. I mean, well, now Sonny is just like, hey, if we bribe you, you won't talk about this, right? And start giving them stuff from the limo, which is kind of ridiculous. I don't know. And then they go on their date. Everything seems like it's gonna go great, but I don't know. They've been ending up in a lot of arguments lately, so it could go either way.
Why don't you order since you know so much about sushi?
Oh my gosh. I forgot everything I know about sushi.
Oh my gosh. I'm boring him so much, he's trying to drown himself.
And it goes a funny way because Chad ends up spitting all of his water on Sonny, but not even like normally. It's like a fire hose. Like, look at this. This isn't even realistic. He's just so nervous, and it's kind of cute because it's like, oh, that's sweet. But then he runs away, and honestly, if you ran away from the date, I don't care how embarrassed you were, that's awkward. Meanwhile, it's confirmed to everybody that they actually did go on a date. It's in the front of Tween Weekly. So Random is mad at her, which I guess you guys knew this, like, this is not new information. You caught her in the limo the other day. And Chad just tries to get her back. Now it's all about their relationship, not necessarily trying to hide it anymore. They fight one last time, and Sonny is just alone and depressed, and Chad gets to woo her one last time. It just feels like Chad constantly coming to Sonny, apologizing for something rude he said a couple scenes earlier, and I don't know, his whole ego is just so sensitive because he doesn't think before he speaks, and he just always comes back anyway, so I don't know why Chad just doesn't pick up on it. He ends up proving to her that he's not ashamed to look like a fool for Sonny by putting it up on a billboard, which, yeah, have you guys ever had that? Your romantic partner putting something on a billboard? Yeah, no, because it's not reality, let alone a teen's reality. And it's sweet. They have a little nice date outside the billboard, and yeah, I feel like this episode is just really good at announcing their relationship together, having the touch and go and arguments right off the bat so that way we can get over them. It kind of reminds me of iCarly when Freddy and Sam get together and there's just so much complications with them, like they're always fighting. This one at least is doing it in a healthy way. You actually root for them to be together, and they still kind of keep their snappy dialogue together. So it's a good couple. I feel like this is one of the ones I like the most, but then again, I also like Chad Dylan Cooper the most, so that might be the bias.
You are one pretty man.
And yeah, so those are all the weirdest love stories I could find throughout teen television, and it is crazy how they depicted young love. Like, I mean, I get it. A lot of it is like more in a joking way, like the stalkerness of Alex charms a boy, or the awkwardness of Zoey 101. Like, they just had such an interesting way of touching these subjects and also being funny at the same time. I feel like they definitely leaned into the absurdism way more than anything else, but that's what made these shows so unique. You know, like, iCarly was known for falling off after Freddy and Sam got together. Life with Derek was known for their siblings' love tension. Like, there's just no stopping all these shows. But yeah, that was pretty much all of them. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really love putting these together for you guys. Like, it really opens my eyes to some of the tropes that were just so overdone in all these 2000 shows. Like, I can't help but, like, depict all of them. But what do you guys think? Were any of these shows, like, your favorite? Like, let me know in the comments which love story you felt was the most romantic or the least romantic. Thank you guys so much, and have a great day.